Now on Denver 7 News at 11, the grim search for a drowned teen continues at Chatfield Reservoir.
Also, you're going to want to do your Thanksgiving Day Christmas shopping online this year. The growing list of stores that say they won't be open on the holiday.
And we'll tell you just how soon you can watch all new episodes of your favorite ABC daytime soap. Thanks for joining us on Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. This is new video just into the newsroom from Chatfield Reservoir, where the search continues for a teenager believed to have drowned on Friday. As Denver 7's Micah Smith shows us, searchers hope to bring closure to the teen's family and friends soon.
Rescue crews have been focused on the Catfish Flats area of the reservoir since the swimmer was first reported missing Friday afternoon around 3:20. The Marine Evidence Discovery Team and South Metro Fire Department's dive team has been searching for the victim since then, but they still have not recovered the body. Now we're hearing from a number of the victim's friends and family members who are pleading with Parks and Wildlife to close the reservoir. A person who says they are a family member of the victim started a petition asking Parks and Wildlife to close the water until the swimmer's body is recovered. That petition has been signed more than 7,000 times. Another family member tweeted saying keeping the reservoir open during the search is a disgrace to their loved one and others who have drowned here. We talked to one person who knew the teen and says she too is upset that the water remains open.
I'm upset about him passing, but I'm really mad at the fact that people are disrespecting his passing by still going to the lake.
Rescue officials say visitors have not hindered their search efforts, but they are asking everyone to avoid the areas where they see the rescue teams out of respect for the victim. Reporting from Chatfield Reservoir, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
This morning, mental health workers and service providers will be out at the homeless camp around Denver's Maury Middle School. This comes as a neighborhood group is asking for more to be done about the tents that have surrounded the streets and increased in number over the last couple weeks. A GoFundMe was created to help find solutions and secure legal counsel. Neighbors in the area say something has to be done about it.
We don't just want these people swept to the next corner or the next block. That doesn't help anybody in the city. It doesn't help the homeless as well.
Officials tell us there will be free transportation and storage for those living in the encampment and no police presence today.
The U.S. has now topped more than 4.6 million coronavirus cases. California is at the top of that list this morning, leading the number of cases surpassing 500,000. And the CDC estimates deaths in the U.S. will top 182,000 by late August. Hospitalizations are also rising in 35 states. Here in Colorado, we added nearly another 450 cases to our count Sunday. That brings the total number to nearly 48,000. And taking a look at the number of hospital beds in use here in our state, our healthcare system remains in good shape. 335 beds are currently in use by COVID patients. That is down slightly from Saturday's numbers.
While around the world, more than 18 million people have now tested positive for the virus that causes COVID-19. With 30,000 more Americans expected to die in the next few weeks, health officials are now urging us all to take extra safety precautions, which may be the easy part because, as ABC's Trevor Alt shows us, getting Congress to agree to a new relief package may take a while longer.
With 4.6 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the U.S., a sobering message from White House Coronavirus Task Force Dr. Deborah Birx.
What we're seeing today is different from March and April. It is extraordinarily widespread.
With hospitalizations on the rise in 2/3 of the United States and daily deaths climbing in 36 states and Puerto Rico, the CDC is now predicting the number of lives lost to the virus in America could cross 180,000 in less than 3 weeks.
Everyone who walks around refusing to wear a mask, or who hosts an indoor house party, or who overstuffs a boat is directly contributing to these increases.
As the battle over schools rages on, Louisiana announcing that of the nearly 3,500 new cases reported since Friday, 10% are children under the age of 18 and 33% are between 18 and 29 years old. Already, several school districts have reported students testing positive within the first week or even first day back in the classroom.
I think we've been a little cavalier about this and have sort of assumed that kids are fine and they don't spread at all or they don't get infected very often. I think we're seeing data that suggests that that may not be true.
The virus is also claiming the livelihoods of many Americans. Lynette Hale ran a daycare in Colorado. She says COVID cleared out business and she can no longer afford her home.
I'm 70 years old and I'm about to be on the street. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Today on Capitol Hill, Republicans and Democrats are negotiating a new economic relief package, but a sticking point is the $600 weekly unemployment check that Republicans want reduced, saying in some cases it pays people more to stay home. Democrats say cutting that check to $200 would abandon struggling Americans. The Senate is scheduled for a month-long recess at the end of the week. Pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly has announced they're in the final stage of testing what are called monoclonal antibodies, which they hope could provide short-term immunity to the virus for patients. It could provide somewhat of a bridge until a vaccine is available. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Health officials are still trying to figure out how to prioritize the COVID-19 vaccine, but they hope to have some guidelines next month. With the recent surge of cases in the South and West, and now a new one heading into the Midwest, some health officials are considering geography as a priority, meaning people in whatever the current hotspot is would get the vaccine first. Officials also want to prioritize essential workers and those most at risk for severe infection. We do have some good news for soap opera fans. General Hospital has returned to production, and you can watch new episodes of the daytime soap opera starting this afternoon at 1. The soap has been out of production for 4 months because of COVID-19. The last time a new episode aired was just over 2 months ago on May 21st.
Today, Aurora City Councilors will announce a long-awaited decision. Who will be the city's next police chief? The new chief will take the helm amid a federal investigation into the death of Elijah McClain. Denver7's Nicole Brady has a look at the finalists.
2 of the finalists are internal candidates. 2 would be coming from outside the department. All 4 have decades of law enforcement experience. The choice will likely come down to who city leaders believe is most fit to take over a department that has faced so much criticism from its own community. The 4 finalists are the current interim chief, Vanessa Wilson, who took over for retired Chief Nick Metz this year, Marcus Dudley Jr., a commander with the Aurora Police Department, and then the 2 outside candidates, Alexander D. Jones, colonel and bureau chief with the Baltimore County Police Department, and Avery L. Moore, assistant police chief in the Dallas Police Department. The new chief will be taking over a department that is currently under investigation over the death of Elijah McClain. A lawyer for the family of McClain called the Aurora Police Department rotten to the core. In August of last year, McClain was detained by 3 Aurora officers who stopped him because someone reported he looked suspicious. 2 of the 3 officers who were involved in detaining him are still on the force. That is something the new police chief could change. Again, the new police chief will be named at tonight's City Council meeting. Nicole Brady, Denver7.
Tonight, Aurora City Councilors will also discuss banning police from using chokeholds, and in particular, the controversial carotid hold. The hold, which restricts blood flow to the brain, was used on Elijah McClain. Colorado lawmakers specifically banned carotid holds in a sweeping law enforcement reform bill the governor signed in June. The Aurora Sentinel reported by banning chokeholds at the city level, an officer who used one would specifically face disciplinary action or termination.
Well, it has been a sunny start to our day. I stepped out earlier for a cup of coffee and it is warm. I probably should have gone with the iced coffee. Katie LaSalle is in the Denver7 Weather Center with a look at our forecast.
Hi, you guys. Yes, it's definitely a warm day. 90 degrees is our expected high later on. Right now, we're under a mostly clear sky all across the Denver area. We are dealing with an air quality warning, though. It's been in place since yesterday. That includes the Denver area up through Boulder, Fort Collins, and Greeley until 4 o'clock. It could be unhealthy for sensitive groups to spend too much time outside, so just be aware of that if you're sensitive. And then temperature-wise, we're already seeing mid-70s into Aurora. Boulder at 74 right now, and up over Estes Park and Allens Park warming nicely in the mid to upper 70s. Similar story up through Eagle, 90 degrees already in Grand Junction. It is going to be a hot afternoon across the western slope. Now we will be seeing some widespread storm activity develop, mainly after about 3 o'clock, first starting in the foothills and then moving east over the plains. Gusty winds, pockets of brief, moderate to heavy rainfall, and even some small hail will be possible. I'll take you through the full futurecast, exactly where we're expecting that storm activity and when, coming up in just a few.